The chains of habit are too light to be felt, until they are too heavy to be broken. You start your day by checking your phone, scrolling, delaying work. And then you tell yourself, just for today. But today repeats. Then comes tomorrow. And those invisible habits, they don't scream. They don't warn. They quietly tighten their grip on you, little by little. Warren Buffett saw this, not just in the markets, but in human life itself. He understood, if you don't choose your habits will choose your life. Today, we'll unlock 5 wealth principles he once kept hidden. Not get-rich-quick tricks, but a mindset that took him from a boy selling chewing gum to one of the wealthiest men on earth. This is the video you'll want to watch until the very end. Because sometimes, changing your entire life starts with the courage to say no. Asterisk, he once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. It may sound like a line from a finance textbook, but to him, it was a philosophy of life. When other 12-year-olds dreamed of becoming doctors or pilots, he dreamed of making money that makes more money. Not over a year, but over 50. He didn't just study compound interest. He lived with it, like someone patiently tending a tree in their backyard, slow, consistent, and sometimes enduring long, dry seasons. But once that tree grew, it gave shade without needing permission. At the age of 11, he bought his first stock. Not because he understood the entire market, but because he understood one simple thing. If I start early, I can go slow and still finish ahead. It wasn't a race of speed. It was a test of patience. While his peers dreamed of getting rich fast, he chose another path, rejecting the glitter of short-term wins for the steady glow of long-term compounding. And strangely, he didn't find it boring. He found it joyful. There's a little-known story in the snowball. As a child, he would collect used Coca-Cola cans, count every penny of profit, and record them like he was running a corporation. Why? Because even back then, he was training his mind to think in compound interest, not just in money, but in thought. A single idea, a small positive habit, if nurtured daily, can grow into a buffet mindset. He didn't scatter his energy everywhere. He conserved it, filtered it, and invested it the same way he invested capital, step by step. Choice by choice, always with intention. When the market panicked, people rushed to sell. But he stayed still, not because he was stubborn, but because he had already seen the long game. To him, the market was a machine that transfers money from the impatient to the patient. And naturally, he chose the latter. Just as he refused to buy what he didn't understand, he also refused to spend on what he didn't need. He still lives in the same house he bought in 1958, still drives a simple car, still eats breakfast at McDonald's. Not out of thrift, but out of respect for the process of accumulation. Someone once asked him, "How do I make money like you?" He smiled and said, "It's not that I'm better at making it, I'm just better at waiting." If There's one thing the world doesn't teach you early enough. It's this. Slow can still win, but only if you start early. That's how he turned $100 into $10,000, into $1 million, into a $100 billion empire. No magic, no luck. Just a small beginning at the right time with unwavering consistency. Of course, historians still debate whether luck played a role in his success. But what's not up for debate is this. No one becomes a billionaire by accident and wakes up at 5 a.m. to read 500 pages a day. To him, compound interest was more than numbers. It was a life operating system. Shaped how he spoke, who he befriended, and why he chose silence over display. Every small decision, repeated, creates a result no one expects. And he believed that's something people should learn, not after losing everything, but long before. He once said something that sounds like a joke, but it's a life principle. The best investment you can make is in yourself. You can't lose it. Inflation can't take it from you. And if you do it right, it can return tenfold. Not stocks, not real estate, certainly not crypto. Out of the thousands of opportunities he's seen, the first and most consistent return has always come from investing in himself. The problem is, most people ignore this truth. In his youth, he didn't appear to be a natural leader. His voice was weak. He disliked socializing. And he feared public speaking. But then, he did something few dare to do. He enrolled in a Dale Carnegie speaking course. A simple decision, but it changed everything. Later, he admitted the certificate he's most proud of isn't from Columbia University, but from that public speaking course. It's still framed on his office wall today, he believed. If you can't communicate your ideas, no matter how brilliant they are, they hold no value. It's like having a vault full of gold with no key to open it for others to see. That's why he never stopped sharpening himself, reading every day, reflecting every night on how he made decisions, treating every meeting as a study in human behavior. To him, the self isn't something you accept, it's something you invest in. Like a business that keeps growing. In The Intelligent Investor, a book he didn't write, but considered his Bible, he found not shortcuts to wealth, but the principles of growing it the right way. One key lesson: value doesn't lie in excitement, but in understanding. And that's exactly how he treated himself. No noise, no rush, just growing like a seed being watered daily. Slowly, the timid boy faded. In his place rose a global financial icon. Someone once asked him, if you could teach your children only one skill, what would it be? His answer was simple: communication. If you can communicate well, you can raise your value by at least 50%. Just one skill to 50% more valuable. Sounds exaggerated, but for him, those numbers were real. Because he'd proven it over a lifetime, he also invested in mental health, something rare among billionaires. Each day, he made time to read, to think, and even to do nothing. He called it mental gym. And he kept that habit even with hundreds of meetings and reports competing for his attention. He never bought what he didn't need. He stayed off social media. He ignored trends, okay? Because he knew focus is one of the most precious assets in the modern world. And to preserve it, he had to cut the noise, both outside and inside his own mind. Some still debate, is intense self-discipline necessary for success? Or do you just need to be in the right place at the right time? For him, the answer was clear. Timing only matters if you're already prepared. You can't ride a wave if you never learned how to swim. That's what made him different. That he had more opportunities. It's that he had the capacity to recognize the right ones and the clarity, okay, to say no to the rest. His philosophy of wealth started within. From his own mind, he never stopped sharpening it, upgrading it, and protecting it from the erosion of the modern world. And that's why, even if he lost every material possession, he'd rebuild it all, because his greatest asset has always been himself. Asterisk, you won't become Warren Buffett. But you can start thinking like him, starting today. And if you do, even a small shift in mindset could lead to a lifetime of different results. If you found value in this, help spread the message with a like and a subscribe. We'll meet again on the journey to building the mindset of the truly successful.